I'm Guthrie, and today we're going to gab about how you can figure out what you're going to teach for your first class on Outschool. So if you're like me, the idea of someone telling you, it's great, you can teach whatever you want. Well, what do you teach? I teach what I love. And that's what I kept hearing. And it was overwhelming to me. What do you mean you teach what you love? What does that mean? What do you teach? I love cocktails. Are you teaching about how to make cocktails? I don't understand. How do you teach? Do they give you lessons? How do you set this up? So I hope after today's video, you're going to be able to take the action steps that you need to be able to plan out your first lesson. Okay? So we're going to talk in another video about how do you actually format your lesson, how do you set it up. But for today, we're just going to help you decide what the topic is going to be. So you can get that first idea down in your head, and you can start and set up that first lesson. So remember, the first lesson, you don't have any reviews. What people are going to base, do I want to sign my child up with this teacher, is what you put down for your expertise and your experience, your education, your introduction video, and what you decide to teach for that first class. So the best thing that you can do is think about 5 things that you love and can talk about easily for 30 minutes. So if I was to meet you today for the first time, what are 5 things that you know if you had to talk to me about that you could talk without any prep work? Can you talk to me about geometry? I wouldn't know what you're saying, but maybe you can talk to me about it. Could you talk to me for 30 minutes about fishing? What about basketball? Art? Your favorite book? The books that you loved as a child? Can you talk to me about how to help children with phonics sounds? If you can find 5 topics that you love and you can talk about for 30 minutes, you're already partway there to planning out your first lesson. So once you write down those 5 ideas, I want you to go ahead and write them down on paper. And it's okay if they're huge areas, if they're ideas that you don't think you'll be able to relate to kids about. Maybe you can talk to me for 30 minutes about how to make cocktails. Well, that's not appropriate for kids. Well, I'm going to show you how you can take what you love to do and make it appropriate for students. Now, the first class that you're going to teach, we're going to twist this around. You're going to only teach a 30-minute class the first time. Why? Why wouldn't you want to teach for an hour or longer? Because it's easier to plan for 30 minutes. This class is a little bit of a teaser. It's a way to introduce yourself to new students and for them to find out about you. You're going to get such great feedback from working with those kids, and you're going to feel energized, and all of these ideas are going to start running through your head. The hardest part is to find out how to teach that first lesson. So if you make it that it's only for 30 minutes, you're not going to be as overwhelmed. The planning is going to be easier. And it's going to be easier for you to take that first step to commit, to say, I'm going to be teaching on Outschool. Okay? Then you're going to limit that first class to only 5 students. I know, you get paid per student. You're saying, Guthrie, if I had 10 students, I could make 10 times what I can make for 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. But if you only have 5 kids to start with, it's not overwhelming. If you're like me, Zoom is not something I was using on a regular basis in a classroom. Zoom is not something I was using. The other thing is, even though we keep hearing about kids having Zoom classes all the time from home during this time of health crisis, many students are not using Zoom. In my school district, the teachers are not doing Zoom classes. If they are, it's an option. They're not having scheduled online classes. So don't assume that your target audience is used to using Zoom as an educational tool. Okay? So 30-minute class, you're going to limit it to 5 students. If you do great and then you enjoy it, you can make that next class 10. but for the first time, just make it for 5. Honestly, it takes the pressure off you. If you don't have a great day, it's not your best class. You only have 5 kids that you have to worry about getting back because those other kids haven't met you yet. So you're going to do your best for 30 minutes with 5 kids about something that you're passionate about. Now, once you've narrowed that down, think about the age group that you're going to be teaching. Do you want to identify with the littles, the middles, the bigs? What age group? What is your target audience? So for that first class, the narrower your age group is, the easier it is going to be to plan your lesson. So let's say you want to talk about math. You're going to pick one subject in math, one lesson for 30 minutes in math that you're going to teach to 5 students. Are you going to teach kids 8 to 10? Because remember, with subjects like math, with pretty much any subject, you have some kids that are advanced for their age, and you have some kids that are struggling for their age. It's a weakness. So to have an age gap, now Outschool recommends no more than 5 years of a gap. I would recommend 3. So if you're teaching kids, say 8 to 11, or 5 to 8, you're going to have a pretty good age gap. The littler the child, less of an age gap. So you might have ages 3 through 5, maybe 3 and 4, maybe 4 and 5. You really have to start to learn your demographic and learn to see what parents are asking for. So you have 5 things that you can talk about for 30 minutes. You're going to make that first class for 30 minutes, one subject with 5 students. Narrow it down. What's something that you can do? Think about how much you are comfortable with technology. If you have never taught with Zoom before and you're not used to using technology, you might want to stick to having a whiteboard or paper that you can put up. You might have a piece of cardstock that you printed information on. You want to make it comfortable for you, because if you're comfortable, you're going to enjoy the class. The kids are going to respond to you feeling good about that class, and they're going to come back for more. So remember, this is a teaser class. You can set up 5 different sections of that first class. You can set up 30 sections of that first class. So even though you're limiting the amount of income you can make with that first class can be repeating. It's like an advertisement to come join you for further classes. So that's basically what you're putting out. Make that first lesson a teaser. Make it fun. Find a way to interact with the students. If you're teaching math, and I go back to math because it's a weakness of mine. So if I was looking for a math teacher for my children, or even for myself at that age, I need somebody that I'm going to be able to relate to. Are you going to make it simple for me? On the other hand, I love the sciences. So I could be advanced with the sciences. I love the vocabulary. I love the terminology of the sciences. So I want access to that. And I'm going to really interact with you. I'm going to feel coming away that I've learned something. So you want to think about what you're going to teach. What do you want the students to learn? And how do you want them to feel when they've left your class? Are they supposed to be laughing and giggling because you've had a great time with them? Should they feel empowered that they've learned something that they're struggling with? Should they feel that they're sort of, ooh, I know now, and they're going to be able to throw out some big words to their family and friends? Think about, what do you want your students to walk away with? Okay. So what do you want them to know? How do you want them to feel when they've left you? And think about, it's something that you're going to come back to and teach more about later. So setting up your first lesson, don't do too much, okay? Simpler, the better. You're not planning a year-long curriculum. You're not planning a summer camp at this point. You're just planning one lesson. And you're going to find that once you get that one lesson down and you've written up the description, that you're going to find that those ideas just keep building in your head. And I really suggest keeping a notebook near you so that you can write down ideas that you have for lessons. Maybe you're watching TV. And you say, wow, I could teach about that. Write that down. Okay? So once your brain starts thinking about it, and especially if you start writing it, you're going to find that you're going to have a lot more success and lesson ideas are going to come easy. So I want to hear from you. Tell me, are you having questions still? You can't narrow it down? Are you having success? And you've written up that first lesson? I'm going to do another video about how to prepare your first lesson. How do you write a lesson plan if you're not familiar with it? Do you even need to write a lesson plan? What is a lesson plan? So we're going to talk about that. But please let me know. Drop me a line at guthriegabbs@gmail.com.